is one of the most charming men I've ever met in my entire life. I was like, I love hip hop. I love all the old school, all the new school. Do you know Juvenile? I love Juvenile. It's right when the Hot Boys were coming out. I was like, I'm not, and then he was like, well, like this the whole time. He's like, dude, I like you. I go, I like you.
Right.
He goes, what are you doing tonight? And I go, I don't know. And he goes, let's go see a movie. And I was like, okay. He's like, cool. Meet me at Planet Hollywood at 7. And I was like, okay. And then he just walks out. I was like, that happened quick. So I get in the car. I call my dad. He goes, how did it go? And I go, it went great. I go, we're going to the movies. And my dad's like, on a date? I go, I don't know. I don't think so. And he goes, who else is going? I go, just me and Will. And he goes, oh, buddy.
Your dad old school from Florida.
He goes, I think he's gonna f you. I said, what? He goes, it's very popular in Hollywood. These guys get so tired of that the only thing that turns them on is to f young dudes. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, dude, so I've heard about it. It's a casting couch. It's what they do. And I go, no, Dad, that's impossible. We just spent like an hour in a dance studio. It's a dance studio. I go, Dad, no, I go, Dad, trust me. He goes, buddy, what's more likely, okay? He goes, listen to me. The fact that you're so talented that after 6 months of doing stand-up, the biggest movie star in the world wants to make a TV show about you, or that he's tired of and he wants to. I was like, oh, I'm getting. I go, what do I do? And he goes, hey, buddy, eat shit and cash checks. Show up. He goes, you show the f up. So he goes, just listen. He goes, my only son, I want to prepare you for what.
The story really starts at the moment people stopped feeling sorry for Will Smith and started asking uncomfortable questions after that Red Table Talk episode aired. The image was hard to miss. Will didn't look like a man leading his own marriage. He looked quiet, cornered, like someone taking hits in public while being told it was part of healing. That's when voices like Charleston White stepped in and said what a lot of people were already thinking but weren't saying out loud.
But you come from a world of where you could monetize certain things. So, hey, before we talk about it, let's bring it to the red table and let's monetize our conversation.
If I can't please you, how you want to tell people this? All kind of gonna be trying to f you when they realize I can't please you. They got the ups on me. Mama got the ups on me, man. I can't please my mama. How you think they looking at me? Look how we look at Will. Y'all see how you know how you look at Will. Like a weenie.
It didn't change.
Like a weenie.
Why do you think he's still married to Jada? Why is he still in there? She's clearly shitting on him.
She got a secret on this nigga.
Ain't no different than a that whoop his and the woman stay with the man that whoop her. Same thing. She love that rotten motherfucker. She like, she don't like the ass whooping, but she love him enough to take the ass whooping. That's love. Love ain't about what you can give. Love is about what you can take. So shit, man, no. He love that hoe. You talking about? And then, yeah, they probably do some freaking. Yeah, they probably done some things. They gotta kill each other if they leave each other. Yeah, you leave me, you might tell somebody, I'm gonna kill you.
He didn't focus on one viral moment. He zoomed out. 30 years of fame. 30 years of being packaged as the clean, safe, perfect guy with no scandals and no visible cracks. That image held up until Jada brought their private life to the table, put cameras on it, and turned it into content for the world to consume. And this is where the story really shifts. Charleston didn't call Will weak for staying, he called him stuck. According to Charleston, Will isn't trapped by love, he's trapped by consequences. Leaving wouldn't just end a marriage, it would open doors to old conversations, explanations, and things kept quiet for decades. Staying keeps the narrative controlled. Walking away means losing it. And while Charleston has his own theories, there's someone who claims to know the real reason Will won't divorce Jada, and that's Will Smith's former best friend, Bilal. Bilal has spoken out against the Smiths before, and every time he did, pressure followed fast.
I talked for 2 hours.
Okay.
And I said some pretty, what some people may think to be outrageous things, but I knew them to be true and had the evidence to be, to show that it was true. So from that, that's when Jada responded out of anger, not out of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Because for her to be a global iconic superstar, you rushed to the Breakfast Club to say, number one, that I extorted you. There was a money shakedown. You said you didn't have all the facts. So that puts you in legal jeopardy right now. You said all the facts will come out. None of the facts came out, right? So now you, Will, and yourself are in legal jeopardy. Her lawyer sends me a cease and desist letter, which I had to report him to the bar, Kenneth B. Hertz, because he said, I never knew Will, and I have everything here. I never knew Will, that I never worked for Will, and that he said he represented Willard Carroll Smith, which is Will's real name, but he was asking me to take down statements from Jada. So that's what we call in law overreaching. You cannot, if you're saying you represent Will, you can't compel me to do something against Jada.
According to him, this was never about clearing the air or telling the truth. It was about control. He claimed Will Smith was living in constant fear, not fear of the public, but fear inside his own private world. Bilal said the environment around Will was so tightly managed by Jada Pinkett Smith that even if Will wanted to leave, he couldn't. After Jada went public, Bilal made it clear his issue was no longer with Will. He described Will as stuck, trapped inside a system he didn't fully control. From that point on, Bilal said his conflict was directly with Jada, accusing her of trying to discredit him before he could speak freely.
Will's never responded, and they responded in less than 9 hours.
They did. That was a fast response.
That was because he know what I saw in that dressing room. He know other things that I saw.
You said it was murder.
Yes, Dwayne Martin's a serial, because Will's not the only one, and we're gonna get into that later on too. So basically, Jada's interview did two things. It makes me now, me and her at war. I'm gonna put Will to the side. Will is to the side. Me and Jada, I will say this because I know you're watching. I know Karen Tense is watching.
Who's Karen Tense?
That is her PR person for years.
Okay.
Right? I know they're watching. Jada, you're a bald-head liar and you're a drug addict. Right?
Oh, God.
You did not sue me. You told the world that you were going to sue me.
Ooh.
As of yet, and you said you're going to do it swiftly. It's been over 2 weeks. So, Jada, I'm giving you 2 more weeks to sue me. If you don't sue me, this is what's going to happen. All the parties, right? And the men that you hit with dildos, I'm naming names, right? All the salacious stuff that you have done and hurt other people, I'm naming names. Because now what we got to do is we got to force her to say she lied. You assassinate my character. You say I extort you. Well, extortion is criminal. Like, I would be in jail right now if I tried to extort the Smiths. If this was an extortion plot. See, there's a difference between saying something that's civil. Like, I could say different, like she's had various venereal diseases, right? And I'm saying that. Jada has. I'm saying that, right? But I'm going to tell you why she's not going to sue me. Because she knows it's true.
Bilal also claimed this kind of exposure is exactly what Jada wanted to avoid. He pointed to media outlets suddenly backing away, interviews getting canceled, and people becoming afraid to platform his story. To him, that didn't look like truth winning on its own. It looked like influence and control at work. And at the center of it all sits Will, appearing caught under the grip of what Bilal described as an increasingly erratic Jada.
Oh, that's why my attack is on her now, right? Because at the end of the day, Jada is a bald-head lying dope fiend. Period. That's what she is.
I can verify the bald head part.
Right? And the liar, the whole world knows she's a liar.
Yeah, we can verify.
And let's talk about the dope fiend. So Jada has self-admitted to using and other drugs, which are illegal. Who got them drugs for her? Who got the ecstasy that in all these interviews, she says she used ecstasy, addicted to. So you're trying to tell me that's criminal. You're buying or sending someone to buy illegal drugs. But when you got this type of money, ain't nobody coming. You say you addicted to all forms of porn, men, women, bestiality, all this stuff.
She said bestiality?
Oh, goodness.
I didn't know nothing about that.
Listen, let me say something to you. All you gotta do.
I know she said she had a sex addiction.
No. She also that she was addicted to. So this is from her own mind. Because people, see, what I do is I'm going to connect the dots with people. So now they can go and see, oh yeah, then also she also claimed to be an alcoholic, right? So yeah, so she said she passed out. I think it was on Nutty Professor or something because she was smoking weed and drinking too much and the drugs. So this is a dope fiend. Her mother was a dope fiend, right? So we gotta look at the behavior of the dope fiend. Right? This is what we're looking at.
Bilal painted Will as a man boxed in by contracts, agreements, shared businesses, and non-stop public image risks. Divorce wouldn't just be personal, it would kick off legal questions, money audits, and reopen old stories that never really got answers.
Will has always paid you for all the work that you've done.
Oh, an abundance. And Will has put a significant amount of money in my pocket. That's why this wouldn't have been a problem with the book. Listen, Jada comes in and say don't give him nothing. My thing with Will was, and even when we're on my Instagram with that video where Will say you in the book, I blew you up. We were in the middle of all this stuff, but I'm in it with Jada. I didn't really have time to talk to Will that night, right? I didn't have time to have that good conversation with Will, but then the slap happened. And I didn't want all this stuff to come out during this. This would have crushed him during the slap, right? So, Jada essentially kept me away from Will, but Will knew what was going on, and like Jada runs Will, period. Because there's nothing that two friends of 38 years, a little small business deal, right? That might be what, 100 and something thousand, 190,000, whatever that amount is, right? It's two friends can work that out. But when you got your narcissist wife and sociopath wife saying, oh, I'm gonna crush him, I'm gonna kill him, this is criminal. Listen, so this is what happened. So of course Charlie Mack the Rat hits me and say, hey, Jada wants and Will wants to talk to you. Now we're going through all this with the mediation, the lawyers, everything, right?
This is before the interviews.
Right, this is way before the interviews, right?
Okay.
So I'm at the position like, okay, so this is how I have to talk to her. I gotta get with Charlie Mack the Rat. He's gonna have a special phone. Boom, I get with him. He's gonna call Will and Jada. They're gonna be on the phone. I'm gonna have a conversation. So Jada was like, look, they offered me $10,000. That doesn't even cover the cost of the boxes. This is Jada offering me, right? And this was after the mediation. This is what they offered me. And they started off with $5,000 in the mediation. Then it went to 10 and I left the mediation, right? I'm like, I'm not even trying to do business. I brought all these boxes to the meet. I showed everything that I needed to show that I did on my end far as our contract was concerned. And there's emails supporting everything. So she said, you're going to take that $10,000. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to take the $10,000. Then she says, well, I'm going to crush you if you don't take the money, because if you don't take this money, now you could sue. Now, if I would have took the money at the mediation, it puts me in a position where I can't sue them.
From this angle, staying married isn't about love, it's about containment. That's why, according to this perspective, Will Smith stays married. If a third party speaking out caused this much reaction, imagine what happens if the marriage itself cracks. A divorce wouldn't just be emotional, it would be procedural, legal, and hostile. Courtrooms, contracts, lawyers everywhere. From the outside, it looks like Will can't walk away even if he wants to. Now, another insider stepped in with some wild theories about why Jada Pinkett Smith treats Will the way she does. Boozy Badaz said the real issue was never fame or movies. He said the real problem was Tupac Shakur, and more importantly, what Tupac represented to Jada. Boozy explained that Jada and Tupac weren't strangers chasing clout. They knew each other young, before fame swallowed everything. People around them said the bond was real, playful, deep, and natural on those sets.
But, you know, Tyron was saying how, like, on the set in the early filming of Menace, him and you know, Tupac and Jada would be like wrestling with each other and like playing around and joking.
This
you know
high
what I'm
school, this lovebird shit.
Right.
Like this deep, bro. Like, I feel like, you know, that can't be stopped, bro. And I felt Pac felt the same way. I was looking at an interview on Vlad one day, and they said Pac came in the studio mad or something about
Jada telling him to leave Will alone or woo the woo woo. Pac was some shit I was watching. And if that was true, you know, a nigga made man like that, and you get mad, nigga, that's love.
According to Boosie, connections like that don't just fade. He believed Will thought once Tupac was gone, Jada would finally move on. But from this perspective, that never really happened.
Will Smith wrote a book since our last interview. And he mentioned Tupac in his book, because, you know, Jada and Tupac had a friendship before the two of them had met. And in the book, he said, I hated that I wasn't what Tupac was in the world, and I suffered raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that. You know, their relationship just gets more and more strange as the years go by. You know what I mean? It's almost like she goes out of her way to embarrass him, and he just kind of goes along with it. You know, I mean, the whole, from the entanglement to this Tupac thing to like all the other shit that goes on. When you look at their relationship, what do you think?
She couldn't let go of Tupac. I mean, when you got a relationship with somebody, you know, you gotta understand that, like when you got a relationship with somebody, he chose to marry her. You know, he knew how she loved Pac. He knew how she loved Pac. I guess he thought she would see past it. But you know, when somebody, I feel like they was deeply entitled to each other forever. And you know, he came along. You know, this was way before him. He came along, you know, and I don't know. I just feel like Jada had a real deep love for Pac after he said that he could never shake. And he probably wanted to shake that love out of her. You know, he probably wanted to shake that, you know. Tupac was a fool. You know, I'm a Tupac fan. Tupac wrote a poetry. Yeah, Tupac f***ed up. Yeah, Tupac, hey, real niggas. I got went like, well, hey, bro, when you a real person, like, and y'all click, bro, it's special, bro. Like, it's special, bro. Can't nobody even take that shit apart, bro. Like, when they hurt, you gonna feel like you just hurt. You know what I'm saying? And by him saying that he wish he had the love like Tupac, I don't know, you know, I feel like that with Jada was pretty deep with Pac.
Suge Knight is another figure who reacted strongly to Jada, especially when Tupac's death gets pulled back into the spotlight. He pushed back on the narratives, saying people keep using Tupac's name for attention even though they weren't there and don't know the full truth. According to Suge, those recycled stories don't just trend online, they hurt real people who actually lived through that era. The bigger message coming from both Boosie Badazz and Suge is this: Tupac was never just a closed chapter in Jada Pinkett Smith's past. He was a part of her story that never fully ended.
Jada was the homegirl. And then Pac was, shit, she was blowing Pac up. You know, those was the deeper days and the phone days. She gonna blow the phone up, she gonna blow the pager up. And Pac used to always say, Jada, I'm gonna come over there and beat Will's motherfucker. You know Will's a fag. That's the word Pac used, you know. But I ain't gonna put Will down and then Will straight and fucking. Truth is the truth. And Jada used to always says, oh, I love you, Tupac. We don't got a real marriage, it's an arrangement. He got the way, you know, he got his boyfriend and she got her girlfriends and that's that. But we all have respect for Jada. I have to respect Jada to her to say some weird shit with Jada. Now you know the truth. Who's behind, what's behind. So, are you still dating? Number one thing. Because if you really know, and we know you know, you still friends with these people. So it's no either or. If you love Tupac, how could you love the people who was involved with that?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm not saying you gotta go do something, but you don't gotta party with them. You gotta go for all the fake love.
No matter how successful Will Smith became, no matter how many movies, awards, or global moments he stacked up, that shadow never completely disappeared. That's why many people say this situation was never only about marriage. And now, over the past few weeks, something serious has been happening quietly behind the scenes. A lawsuit was filed against Will Smith by a musician who worked on his tour, and since then, something feels off, and Will hasn't said a word publicly. No statements, no explanations, nothing. Even more noticeable, Jada hasn't spoken either.
A lawyer, but after seeing all these headlines saying that Will Smith is being sued for sexual assault, I decided to read the 15-page lawsuit, so let me tell you exactly what this plaintiff is saying happened. Now, the plaintiff, or the person who filed the lawsuit, is this man, whose name is Brian King Joseph, and he's a violinist and a former contestant on America's Got Talent.
What is your name?
My name is Brian King Joseph.
Yeah.
I'm from Los Angeles, and I play violin.
According to the lawsuit, Will Smith and Brian King Joseph first met after Joseph did some studio sessions with several high-profile artists. After those sessions, he was referred to Will as someone that could potentially be used for some recordings. In November of 2024, Joseph meets Will in person and shows him what he can do on the violin. From there, Will agrees to let him play at an upcoming show he has in San Diego. Now, the San Diego show, which was in December of 2024, goes great, and according to the lawsuit, Will then invites Brian King Joseph to be more involved in the performances and tells him that he's a valuable member of the team and offers him more stage time during the shows. And their relationship, according to the lawsuit, grew even closer. The suit says that the two of them began spending additional time alone, with Will Smith even telling Joseph, quote, "You and I have a special connection that I don't have with anyone else." Okay. And other similar expressions indicating his closeness to Joseph. Now, from December until March, there's a break between performances, but by March of 2025, Will Smith is starting the first leg of his Based on a True Story tour. And this is the basis of what this lawsuit is all about. So the crew arrives to Las Vegas for their tour stop, and the way the hotel bookings would work, according to the lawsuit, is that Will Smith, which I'm assuming really means his team, would book everybody's hotel rooms and then send out a spreadsheet to the cast and crew that listed each person's room number and confirmation code. And this is key to Joseph because he highlights that the only people who had access to his room information would have been the hotel staff and the crew for this tour. So again, everybody's in Vegas and it comes time for rehearsals. Joseph and the crew get dropped off at the venue around 11 a.m. and Joseph says he left his bag, which also had his room key in it, in the van that they all came in. Now, by 3 p.m. on this same day, Brian King Joseph says that he asked management to get his bag from the van. But management tells him that they can't find it. About 2 hours later, management finds the bag with the key in it and they return it to Brian King Joseph. Now, around 11 p.m. on March 20th, 2025, Brian King Joseph says that he goes to the room that he had been assigned and discovered, quote, evidence suggesting that an unknown person had unlawfully entered the room. And some of that evidence included a handwritten note that said, quote, "Brian, I'll be back later, 5:30. Just us." There's a heart, and it's signed Stone F.
Meanwhile, Will keeps posting travel photos, promoting shows, smiling with friends, moving like everything is normal. That silence matters, because when someone at Will Smith's level goes quiet during legal trouble, it's rarely accidental. It's strategy. It's usually because old issues are bubbling back to the surface. Court records show the lawsuit is moving forward, at least against a company tied to Will Smith's team. What's still unclear is whether Will himself has officially been served, and that detail matters because it helps explain why he hasn't responded directly. The person who filed the lawsuit says he was hired to perform on Will's tour. According to the claim, he felt unsafe on the job, reported the issue, and was let go shortly after. At the core, this case isn't about fame or internet gossip, it's about retaliation. The allegation is simple. Speaking up cost him his job. And this is where the bigger picture comes into focus.
Has had forceful engagement with Meek Mills, August Alsina, and Bashir Gray.
You know, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love.
Gray and Belial told me that he had had with his own son. Those are boys. Those aren't little girls.
I love pretty girls.
Girls, 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 girls. Those are boys, Cam. What you mean Corey Holcomb is lying? The things he's done with children, though, are the most troubling things. Will needs to be locked up. His own assistant thought so as well, for the stuff he did to his son. You know, I don't know why people haven't hung Jada high for introducing psychedelics into her children's lives while they were still in their teenage years. I don't understand. They admitted that out loud and everybody was okay with it.
Not only does it help you feel better, but it helps you solve the problems of how you got there in the first place.
I know they all. I do.
Will Smith isn't facing just one issue. He's under public pressure, legal pressure, career pressure, and nonstop personal scrutiny that's been building for years, all of it stacked at once. So when people keep asking why Will doesn't just divorce Jada Pinkett Smith, the answer might not be about love anymore. It might be about survival, control, and avoiding a total collapse when everything else already feels unstable. What do you think is really going on with the Smiths? Why doesn't Will just walk away? Drop your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. This is Flow Alert, and we'll see you in the next one.